Good morning, everybody. Excited for this upcoming season. We've obviously started practice, and the men have been working hard. We're a little bit of a different team this year, a little bit older, more experience, quality depth at every position, and hopefully that quality depth will meet the type of mental toughness, and hopefully we'll overcome any type of adversity throughout the course of a game and figure out a way to win as many games as we can. But our men have been working hard. They've also done a tremendous job in the classroom. We had several of our guys, especially throughout the course of the summer and the early part of this year, that have a 3.0 or better, and they've maximized themselves and all of the resources that they have so that they can be the best student athletes that can represent the University of Alabama at a high level. So this is the first year that we've brought our entire coaching staff back, and Coach Pelfrey, Coach Ya, and Coach Petway, they've done a tremendous job assisting our players and helping them with their growth and development. So I'm fired up, and I guess I'll open it up for any questions.
Okay, raise your hand if you have questions. Bob? I'm from Arkansas, so I'm going to ask you a question about Daniel Gafford, especially with your NBA background. I was wondering what your take is on how he played last year, what you expect from him, and just how big it was for Arkansas.
You're from Arkansas? Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm not very fond of your coach. That's kind of a joke. One of my best friends, by the way. But Daniel has tremendous talent. He's a guy, first of all, I was hoping that he would stay in the draft so we wouldn't have to see him this year. But, he has lottery pick talent. And the way they're playing in the NBA now with guys that can run and jump and screen and move, switch pick and rolls. I like, his footwork in the post, but he's a two-way player. He's very competitive at both ends of the floor. He can play above the rim, and you can just utilize him in different ways. And a lot of the big guys in the NBA right now, that's the type of profile that they have.
Okay, here in the middle, AP.
Good morning. Hopefully we won't be so easily scouted. I thought last year, because of the way we were built, and, Colin was an alpha dog, and, he's going to score 20 points a game, and sometimes teams can load up their defense to try to shut him down. And I'm hoping this year that, we'll be a lot more versatile on offense. Maybe we're not going to have one guy that can get us 20 points every night, but I'm hoping we'll have 4 or 5 guys that can get us 14 or 15. And if we can accomplish that goal, then you'll see the ball move a little bit more. Maybe defenses won't be able to load up on one guy, and they probably won't know where the shots are going to come from. And that's what I'm excited about with this year's team. Well, defensively, we have so many different ways we can defend. We're a long team. At our wing position, when you have guys like John Petty and Herb Jones who are here, these guys are 6'6", Herb 6'8", Tevin Mack is 6'7", Dejon Ingram is 6'6". You got a lot of long guys on the wing, and we've had quite a few media guys. Jimmy Dykes came to our practice, and that's one of the things that blow these guys away of how long we are, and then our size on the front line. Daniel Giddings is a man, and he's playing much better. And Galen Smith, obviously Dante Hall, and Alex Reese has lost 18 pounds, and he looks better. I just think the key for us is going to be point guard play to go along with all of that versatility that we have on both the offensive and defensive end. But we can play a lot of different speeds. And we can defend a lot of different ways. We can press. We can play in the half court. So hopefully that'll be to our advantage.
The next one's here.
Hey, Drew.
Left. Carrie.
Hey.
Tell us a little little bit about what you're hoping to get this year for Kevin Mack?
Our plays work better when the ball goes in the basket.
Yes, they do.
And I've shared this a million times, and just give me an opportunity to share it one more time, because I always like to honor my former coach, even though he didn't coach in the SEC. But my former coach, Ben Jobe, he always talked about pass the ball to the open man. So when the ball goes in the basket and we pass the ball to the open man, plays are amazing. But Tevin Mack can hopefully help us be a much improved three-point shooting team. Hopefully we'll be better late in the shot clock, because we think he can get his shot off at any time. And hopefully we'll make better decisions with the basketball to get the ball to the open guy, whether it's Tevin Mack or John Petty or a big man rolling to the basket and not pass the ball to the other team, because that'll take some pressure off our defense. We've put extreme amounts of pressure on our defense our first 3 years, so hopefully we'll be better offensively. That's our next level of growth.
Coach, in the middle, second row, Jerry. Avery, there's a lot of guys that tested the water, the NBA water, that came back. How can that impact SEC basketball to have that many guys experienced and gone through that?
Well, I think the way it's going to impact SEC basketball, hopefully we'll all play at a high level in the non-conference, win our share of games, and then in conference play, you're going to probably see 9 or 10 teams battling for NCAA bids on Selection Sunday. And I think that's great for our league, because you can still then get quality wins in our league. And obviously, if you come up short, you're probably going to be losing to a top 50 team, which still is going to help with this, especially with the new rating system. But I just think with the level of talent, man, this is different from when I arrived, 3 years ago. Now that we're in year 4, you look at the new coaches that have been added to our league. Rick Barnes, who did an amazing job, and Ben Holland, his team is coming. Mississippi State, LSU's coming. So I just think with the improved coaches that we have in this league, and it's directly affected recruiting. And now those guys that could have gone to the NBA return to school. I had 2 guys, Herb Jones and John Petty, could have put their name in the hat, but they came back to Alabama. That helps us.
Okay, and way back on the left,
Maybe back here in the back. How is John Petty's role going to change this year?
Well, I don't know if his role is going to change. I think we're going to be looking for a level of consistency from him on the road, as well as him continue to be consistent at home. There were 2 different extremes there. Shot the ball incredibly well at home and not so well on the road. But I think he addressed that with his work habits this summer. He really embraced the idea of getting his body stronger. I don't think when you see him today, you're going to say, wow, he gained 20 pounds. No, but he is stronger, and I think he's going to have improved stamina on the court, and I think that's going to translate to his shot-making ability this year. And it's also he's going to improve his ball handling ability, to that second and third bounce. Maybe not the 5th, 6th, or 7th bounce, but that second and third bounce in traffic, making plays for us. So I just think he's going to have great opportunities with this team to have a major impact for us. But he's just got to keep it simple and play his game, and hopefully he'll make shots both at home and on the road.
And what's the depth chart at point guard in place of Collins?
The depth chart at point guard? Well, my wife wants the depth chart to start with Avery Johnson Jr. Probably not going to happen. Don't tell her that, okay? But, right now, if we had to start today, it would be Dejon Ingram. And then AJ, he'll play some minutes, and Kyra Lewis, obviously the young 17-year-old kid that we have that's not turning 18 until next April. So we think we have 3 guys there that can help us. And we also like playing Herb Jones at point guard or point forward, if you want to call it that.
the next one is back to the TV cameras.
Talk about the strength of the SEC, Kentucky picked to win the conference. Do you see a different dynamic with UK this year, bringing
Well, I think the grad transfer is really the big addition with Reed and his size and athleticism and strength and just with that power game inside. You know, they already beat us up on the boards. I think they had 20-something offensive rebounds. So they're always going to be a really good rebounding team. And I just think with the addition of Reed, obviously they always had, you know, dynamic freshmen, but I think having that experienced guy is probably going to help them, especially doing conference play and in the tournament.
Okay, here in the front row, Alex. Right in front of you.
Oh, hey.
How much do you kind of expect the success this year to be predicated on him taking that next step offensively and Herb kind of expanding his role?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both Herb and Petty, playing to their maximum ability. I think John Petty has the capability of being an elite three-point shooter. And if he's an elite three-point shooter, then that means you're elite all the time. And I think Herb Jones, his game travels anywhere. Herb Jones, he's a guy that can score 6 points and have a major impact on the game. We'd like him to maybe, score double figures this year, which will be the next step for him offensively because he's going to be one of the best defenders in the country. This kid can defend multiple positions, and that's why he's getting so much attention from, guys on the next level. We had our NBA Pro Day recently, and they're blown away with how he defends and defending multiple positions and always being in the right place at the right time. But his ability to pass the basketball, I think you'll see him be a much improved three-point shooter. And if he can take that next step as an offensive player along with Petty being the lead, Alex Reese is another guy that we're going to lean on, and Tevin Mack, as we alluded to earlier, AJ Jr., and if we can do it more as a group, then we'll probably go from averaging 62 or 64 points maybe into the mid-70s where we need to be.
Okay, here in front left.
Hey, Drew.
Hey, Coach, how are you? I wanted to ask you, every year, Dante Hall has added something to his repertoire. How improved is he going into his final season for you? And then also another key for you, the development of Galen Smith, who I thought really finished his freshman year strong.
Yeah, I'll start with Galen. Galen, took that next step for us. We played him a lot at the end of the year. He's a guy that has a reliable, consistent jump hook in the paint. And he's an emerging free throw shooter because that's going to be critically important for us when our big guys like Galen gets fouled and make their foul shots. Who's the first guy you asked? Dante. Dante has expanded his game. He's not just a dunker anymore. He's taken that 14, 15-foot jump shot, and he feels good about it with expanding his game because sometimes when those passing lanes were shut off with the short pass to Dante and they took away his dunks, we struggled. So now the next step for him is to, make that 14-foot jump shot, and he's improved in that area.
Our next one's way in the back on the right, Cecil. Cecil.
What went into the decision to bring Tyra Lewis in a year early? How's that going to affect his role on the team and how
Well, first of all, we had a spot that became available. So we had an available scholarship. His mom talked to us during the summer about him potentially graduating early, and he wanted to enroll early and reclassify to 2018. So it all worked out because we had a spot available, because we had a young man transfer, and when August came around, he graduated from high school, and we were in the hunt to sign him. And fortunately, he came on an official visit in early August, and he was able to graduate and enroll at Alabama early. Obviously, he's only 17 years old. He's in a little bit different situation than when Sexton came in. When Sexton came in, we basically knew if everything worked out, he was one and done, even though when he came in, he was projected maybe 15th in the first round, and obviously he moved up to 8th. But this is a different situation. We're not putting a lot of pressure on this kid to make it to the NBA as soon as possible. We want to steadily help him grow and develop and mature, and he'll tell us how fast we can accelerate things with him. But that's basically what happened with that decision.
Any more questions?
A follow-up on Willis. I think he's like the youngest out.
Yeah.
Being an old point guard, what do you see from him in practice? How is he making the transition? What do you expect from him?
Man, he's talented. He's young, but he's talented. You can't. There won't be any age discrimination. If he can help Alabama win games, he's going to be on the floor. But he's fast. He can really flat out shoot the 3-point shot. Every time he shoots it, we think it's going in. His decision making is a little bit more advanced for such a young player. So it's fun for me having a young guy like that. Knowing that I played the position, and he doesn't have to see the game how I saw the game, but he's really fast. He obviously has to put on a little bit more weight because he came in about 160 pounds, and he's excited because he's up to 165 now. But I think he'll eventually get to about 180, and you'll see him really take that next step.
From NBA people has on the players. I'm wondering if, like, sometimes the NBA people are saying the same thing the coaches are saying, the college coaches, but it maybe carries more weight coming from the NBA.
But that's one of the reasons why, we have the NBA Pro Day. I actually first got the idea when I was working for a network, and Jay Billis and I were working the Kentucky Pro Day, and in the back of my mind, I said, wow, if I ever became a college coach, this is a pretty cool idea. So when you have a pro day and you have 50 scouts or 40 scouts attend the pro day, and then you have 200 scouts like we did throughout the course of a season, attend our games and evaluate our players, and then you have all of these early advisory board committees that the NBA has implemented to give these kids advice. There's a lot of information for the kids now to make a real-time decision because we definitely don't want to hold them back. When my advice to a kid is, hey, you might want to wait. I don't think the time is right. It's not because I'm trying to hold them back because I'm trying to get an extension. It's basically I'm trying to serve the family with the best information that we can give them, but also with all of the different boards that are in place to give them information, I think is very beneficial.
Okay, we have time for one last question, Kirk.
All right. I think I think Dejon is in a really good place mentally and physically. He's a guy that's a multiple position player. I think for him, last year struggled with his shot a little bit, especially behind the 3-point line compared to the year before. And in this day and era with so much emphasis being placed on a 3-point shot, when a kid misses a 3, sometimes it's like the end of the world, but we're telling them, let's move on to the next play. But I just think he's overall in a good place mentally and physically. He's another one of our older players. This year we got a lot of guys that are 21 and 22 and some guys that are 23 compared to a team that was the 4th youngest team in the country last year. And obviously you saw the inconsistency there. But Dejon, with the rest of our older players, we hope that they'll take that mature, tough approach to every practice, every film session, every game, and hopefully that'll translate into a more consistent team.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks a lot.